encourage young people to get involved in government, and why is their participation important? Hello and welcome to Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Candace Kelly, and joining me is Evan Lowe. He is a councilman in Campbell City, California, and the state director for the Young Elected Officials Network. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, it's interesting because when I talk to you about what young is, it's not young to politics. You mean young as in under the age of 35, and you've talked about a fresh perspective. What would you say someone under the age of 35 brings to the table?
Certainly. Well, I think there's an important component of particularly young people, the passion, the energy, the perspectives that they have is very important to demonstrate in the civic public engagement process. And to see that type of energy, the investment, young people under 35 years old have a very important role to play as it relates to the various policy issues that are important to them. And typically, the system is not set up to have young people engaged in the process, whether it be the perceived lack of experience. And so it's an inherent challenge, but it's equally important for young people to participate.
Right, and not being mistaken for the intern because, you know, somebody might look so young. What is it that you bring to the table in terms of what they get from you that they can't possibly learn until a few years into the game?
Well, this network provides an opportunity for individuals that consider themselves young, under 35, to share policy experiences as it relates to the issues that impact them, whether it be affordable housing, whether it be the issues of Social Security, for example. All of these issues are very important for young people to think about, and they see things in a different light as it relates to the technology generation. I come from Silicon Valley, so young people see things completely differently from that perspective, and the importance of understanding that it's not just idealism, but it's an important process to have all representation from different perspectives and generations to participate in that process.
Can you give me an example of an issue that you might look at a little differently than someone who might be in their 60s?
Sure. Well, the issue of housing, for example, I know that in my generation, a single-family home would not be attainable for a starting teacher, whereas in previous generations, a single-family home was attainable just on a single income. So the issue of affordable housing is important. The issue of Social Security, as I previously mentioned, this generation will not be receiving Social Security as the current standards apply now. So we need to make some reforms and shed light on that issue. And typically, if you look at the voter participation between the ages of 18 and 35, it's extraordinarily low. And so it's important to get people engaged in the process to feel like they have representatives and elected officials that look, think, and talk like them.
And what have you learned, and what have other people learned that you can say, you know, we are really making a difference? What do you hear?
Well, I think a lot of people are talking about the investment not only in the future, but in the present, and how are we going to do things completely different as it relates to climate change, as it relates to the environment, because everybody has a stake in this. Usually, typically, young people face challenges of newer families paying off those student loans, those
Absolutely.
debts, and so it becomes very important for the person and the policymaker to understand those personal perspectives as it relates to public policy and how to affect change for the broad community that has an impact on everyone.
And in what way do you connect with those people who have been out there for a long time? Are they mentors in any way to what you do in your organization?
Absolutely. It's an opportunity to learn the learned experiences from those generations who have come before us, but to also understand the calling of the importance of why it's important for young people to get involved in the civic process, to run for office. Typically, folks think that gray hair is equivalent to that of experience, but it's also important to look at judgment and the opportunity to represent and reflect the community appropriately and to participate.
And what's new on the horizon? I'm sure that, you know, we're in 2011. Now you said in terms of technology, things certainly changed. We have about 20 seconds. What's new? What's next for your organization?
Well, I think to expand the participation and membership of elected officials, to give that call of duty to individuals to participate in the process, to run for office, to work in legislative offices, but to be a part of the community and be part of the investment for the future, which is critically important for all of us, and to be able to invest in the next generation and the present.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing your younger perspective. I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Very nice. All right. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Candace Kelly. Thanks for watching.